Hello there, everyone. Okay, so this is your next book that you should have received in the mail. And this book is called If You Hopped Like a Frog. What would happen if we hopped like a frog? And there's a little froggy on the front. And look at the froggies going. Because the little boy, he's hopping like a frog. Hop, hop, hippity hop. Okay, let's see. So open to the front page, and then there's something that tells from the person who wrote this book. It's talking to us as the reader. So here we go. It says, "Dear reader, when I was your age, most of my friends wanted to be astronauts, athletes, or actors. I too dreamed of traveling to space, hitting home runs, and starring in movies. But there was something else I wanted to do I never told anyone. I wanted to hop like a frog. I imagined soaring through the air with grace and ease, landing gently on my big springy legs. How far could I hop? I also wanted to eat like a snake. A snake can open its jaws really so wide that it can swallow its prey wider than its own head. I knew it would be very bad table manners to eat things bigger than my head. Still, I wondered, what could I swallow if I swallowed like a snake? When I realized that answering these questions just took a little bit of math, I had great fun astonishing my family and friends. Once you know that a frog can jump 20 times its body length, you can figure out about how far you could hop if you hopped like a frog. When you realize a snake can swallow food twice as wide as its head, you can find out what you could eat if you were a snake. In fact, there's no limit to what you can figure out. It's simply a matter of math. Hop to it. Your friend David." There he is. He drew himself. Okay, so here we go. Let me get into position here. If you hopped like a frog, woo, you could jump from home plate to first base in one mighty leap, all the way across the field. If you were as strong as an ant can pick up a leaf that's way bigger than it is. If you were as strong as an ant, you could lift a car. If we were as strong as an ant, look at that. If you had the brain of a brachiosaurus, look at this huge dinosaur. Look at how big it is. And there it is. They're sitting on its head. And it's sitting on the house. Oh my goodness, it smashed the car. I didn't notice that before. If you had the brain of a brachiosaurus, your brain would be smaller than a pea. Look at that. That's how big the brain is. If you had the brain size of a brachiosaurus. If you could swallow like a snake, you could gulp a hot dog thicker than a telephone pole. Oh my goodness, look at, there's the snake. And he's eating a hot dog, it looks like. That's a really big hot dog. If you ate like a shrew, you could devour over 700 hamburgers a day. There's a little shrew. And 700 hamburgers. Oh my goodness, that's so many. If you high jumped like a flea, does Daphne have fleas? I don't know. They're little bugs that live on animals sometimes. And if you high jumped like a flea, you could land on Lady Liberty's torch, all the way from the bottom all the way to the top of her torch. If you flicked your tongue like a chameleon, you could whip the food off your plate without using your hands. But what would your mother say? Uh-oh. there's the chameleon. Their tongues are kind of sticky, and they can stick them out and grab things with them. If you craned your neck like a crane, you'd have to stretch your arm way up to scratch your head. That's silly. If you had eagle eyes, eyes like eagles, you could spot a running rabbit from high in the clouds. Wow, there's the running rabbit. And the little boy's way up in the clouds. If you dined like a pelican, I don't know if you remember at the beach if we saw a pelican. They catch fish in their beak. You could slurp a triple root beer float in one mouthful. Look at him. Oh my goodness. 1, 2, 3. 3 triple root beer float into his mouth. If you grew as fast in your first 9 months as you did in the 9 months before you were born, let's see, you would have been a towering taller than mountaintops and heavier than 2.5 million elephants. Look at that baby. It's like baby Thomas being bigger than a mountaintop and heavier than 2.5 million elephants. Oh my goodness. If you scurried like a spider, you could charge down an entire football field in just 2 seconds. Oh my goodness, look at him go. If you hugged like a bear, I wish I could hug you right now. I'm going to hug you. Give you a kiss. If you hugged like a bear, wait a minute, you already do. And then there's the explanations. If you hopped like a frog, and then it shows how far you could go if you hopped like a frog. You can talk about this with your parents. If you were as strong as an ant, if you had a brain of a brachiosaurus, if you swallowed like a snake, if you ate like a shrew, if you high jumped like a flea, if you flicked your tongue like a chameleon, if you craned your neck like a crane, if you had eagle eyes, and these are all the math behind it. If you dined like a pelican, if you grew as fast as you did in the first 9 months as you did in the second 9 months you were born, and if you scurried like a spider. Okay, I hope you enjoyed it. I love you. That one's called If You Hopped Like a Frog. Ribbit. Ribbit. Okay, big kisses. Mwah. Big hugs. Big hugs. Wish I could hug you. Okay, love you.